Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Destiny, and in this video we're making over this Crate and Barrel wine cabinet. It has some damage to the top, there's some scratches, and the finish is failing. And one of the doors is rubbing, so you have to push really hard to close it. But it's nothing we can't fix. This was a really fun project for me because I'm using a new tool to create a faux wood grain look, so I hope you enjoy this flip. I cleaned this cabinet off camera, so I'm starting by sanding it, and I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper. And this process was literally taking forever, so I already knew I had to switch it up. So I'm using a carbine scraper to try to scratch off the protective coat so it makes sanding a little easier. This process also took forever, and it's a really good workout. Also, leave a comment if you enjoy the sounds of the workshop, because I usually just edit it out, but if you enjoy it, please let me know so I can switch up my content. Also, I didn't record the whole process, but after the 80 grit, I used a 120 and then a 220 to make sure everything was smooth. And now I'm just giving the body of the cabinet a good scuff sand so my paint has something to stick to. This was the door that was having a hard time closing, so I just took the time to sand the corner down to make it smooth. And I apologize for this camera angle. I know you can't really see it, but it was still sticking a little bit, so I am sanding it more. So smooth. So now I'm working on the top, and I'm using the color Espresso by Minwax, and I'm going to apply it with a old t-shirt. You know those projects that don't go as planned? Well, this was one of them. The top did not stain evenly at all, and I blew through the veneer on accident, of course. So I think I'm just going to let this dry and move on to something else. Next, I did take the time to cover the top with paper just because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it yet. Now I'm just getting the primer ready and I'm putting it in my Wagner Flexio 4000 spray gun. I wanted to take the time and welcome all of my new subscribers. I've had a huge jump in new people to my channel, and I really appreciate all 688 of you so much. And thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And with that being said, leave a comment down below where you're watching from. I would love to know. I am using Valspar Cabinet and Furniture paint today on this cabinet, and I love this paint. If you have not used this kind of paint before, you should totally give it a try. I have only used this paint with a foam roller, so I am pretty excited to see how it sprays. This color is called Shaded Lake, and it is a very bright blue. And don't forget to test on your cardboard before you spray your piece, because if your settings are wrong, you could accidentally have too much paint come out and you'll have paint drips on your cabinet. Just like the first coat with hand painting or rolling, it's always very splotchy. Just trust the process. The second coat is always better. I lost some footage, so I apologize about that, but here are some pictures that didn't get lost. The first two pictures are the first coat dry, and the next three pictures are of the second coat dry. This cabinet needed a total of 3 coats for full coverage, and also I didn't love this paint being sprayed. It was giving like chalk paint vibes. And I don't know if my spray gun wasn't powerful enough or my settings just weren't correct to allow more paint to come out. But I highly recommend rolling this paint with a foam roller because I've gotten the best results that way. I decided I'm going to take a different approach to the top on this cabinet because it didn't stain evenly and I blew through the veneer. I'm going to try to use a wood graining tool to create my own wood grain effect. But first, I'm going to prime it and get it ready. And because I couldn't reach this little detail piece with the roller, I am painting it by hand with the little artist brush. Don't forget to sand in between coats so you have a smooth finish. Next, I'm using Waverly chalk paint and truffle and a Bear chalk paint in the color Cracked Pepper. For my first coat, I'm using a majority of the truffle color and tinting it with the Cracked Pepper just to give it a little bit of a darker color. This is the tool I'll be using. It has a longer wood grain tool, a smaller one, and then it has a little edging detail that you can use. And you can pause here for the directions. After my first coat of paint is dry, I mixed up a darker brown color to roll over the top, and then I'm going to take the tool and apply pressure and rock it back and forth to create a wood grain effect. Here are a few pictures of the paint drying after the tool was used to create the wood effect. After that dried, I'm using a natural bristle brush, and this is my favorite to use. I don't think it leaves too many brush strokes behind, but I am just applying the top coat. I'm using Minwax polyacrylic, and the first coat is always rough, but trust the process. I do have to say that if I could go back and do this again, I would add a third color to the top just to give it more dimension. And this is what the top was looking like after the first coat of polyacrylic was dry, and I'm just going over with a 400 grit sandpaper. This is the second coat of polyacrylic, and I did go ahead and put a third coat on, but I did not record it. And again, I did lose footage, and I did go ahead and top coat the actual cabinet itself, because again, I didn't like the way the paint was applied with my spray gun. It didn't feel very durable. Now I'm just removing the paper, and I do realize that I have overspray at the bottom, and I'm just going to take mineral spirits to clean it up. And now I am putting the door back on and applying the finishing touches. Here is one last look of the before, and here's the after. I had a lot of fun working on this project. I absolutely love the color of this blue, and I'm really happy with how the top came out. I hope I've earned your subscription today, and don't forget to like and leave a comment. It helps small channels like mine grow. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!